Neopets, the widely and incredibly popular virtual pet browser game from the 2000s. Obviously, this is another one that I was totally obsessed with. I remember spending hours waiting for games to load on my nan's dial-up internet. We didn't have a PC at home, but I'd visit her twice a week after school when my parents were at work, and that became Neopets time. I'm sorry, Nan. As with most things, unfortunately, after doing a bit of research, some darker aspects of the kids' site came to light. And honestly, I didn't have to dig too deep at all. If you're new here, hi, welcome in. My name is Spooky and I make gaming related video essay content over here on YouTube, and I also stream on Twitch. My content usually revolves around cozy games or childhood browser games, although throw some gameplay and some challenges in there too. So if you like that kind of thing, be sure to drop a subscribe down below because I would love to see you again in the next video. But anyway, let's dive in. The first stop on our venture into the shadows is the Gallery of Evil. Upon landing on the cover page of the gallery, users are met with the following introduction. Not all the inhabitants of Neopia are friendly. In fact, there are a certain few that possess no greater desire than to kill and eat your pet. The Gallery of Evil is dedicated to these creatures, or at least what we know about them. All the encounters with these strange, savage, wandering beasts have been recorded. Remember their names, although there is only a small chance that you'll come across these monsters. If you do, you'll be well advised to run as fast as you can. Don't worry, if that's not enough to creep your 10-year-old self out, on the inside page there's also an image of the cover creature eating a Pikachu. Lovely. Examples of monsters from the gallery include the Spider Grundo. Step closer, my pretty. I won't hurt you much. This evil creature was once a Grundo before Dr. Sloth made him the subject of his experiments. Now the Spider Grundo terrorizes all who venture into his web. The Jelly Chia. Once upon a time, a deranged confectioner by the name of Whizzle wanted to create something that would make him famous and rich. He planned to create an edible friend, a pet who would be your buddy until you decided it was time to eat it. One of his first experiments was the Jelly Chia. He looked after it, read its stories, and educated it about Neopia. One day, Whizzle got peckish. As Whizzle walked up to the Chia, licking his lips, the Chia suddenly realised what was going to happen. In a fit of desperation, the Chia launched himself at Whizzle, enveloping him and slowly dissolving him. Nobody saw Whizzle again after that day. If you look carefully at that old disused chocolate factory on the hill, you may still be able to see his lonely Chia bouncing around, and you may still hear Whizzle's screams. Don't go inside, however, whatever you do. Vira. Vira was a pretty and vain Akara, spending her days playing in the flowers, making daisy chains to braid into her long hair. One day, she wished to be the most beautiful Akara in the world, but the wrong ears had her wish. You are pretty, the shadowy voice said. Only I can make you beautiful. Ever since, Vira has wandered those same fields, kissing the flowers but making them poisonous to the touch. The magic mirrors she gives away do not show reality, but a twisted, ugly version of it. Anyone who looks into her mirrors at first finds themselves very beautiful, but that beauty fades into ugliness and the mirror whispers with a dark voice, "There's only one way to get your beauty back." This brings us back round to the first entry in the Gallery of Evil. Dr. Sloth. Dr. Sloth has the following description, reading, Dr. Frank Sloth is a brilliant, insane, evil scientist, hell-bent on the total destruction of Neopets and Neopia. Arriving at Neopia in his space station in Year 2, he was narrowly defeated by the Space Fairy. Sloth is best known for enslaving an entire planet of alien creatures, Grundos, and mutating them into stronger forms to draft into his army. He has vast technological resources at his disposal, including evil robots, killer clones, spaceships, and ancient artifacts of major destructive power. In short, beware. Now, it's highly speculation, however it could be possible that Dr. Sloth is in fact a caricature of an early investor in the company. This is a whole deep dive in itself, buckle up for a sec. Launching on the 15th of November 1999, the passion project of two UK advertisers, Adam Powell and Donna Williams, Neopets was originally created to entertain university students, containing pop culture references and a light-hearted tone. Did you know that the Neopet Bruce was originally the UK TV personality Bruce Forsyth? Like literally, they just had a PNG of Bruce Forsyth as the pet. I think eventually they changed it to a drawing of him, but yeah, I didn't actually realise that till recently. The pet was later revamped to avoid any legal proceedings as the site grew in popularity. However, it can be noted that, much like the TV star, Bruces do love to dance. The popularity of this brand new virtual pet site snowballed unexpectedly, quickly getting out of hand for the two creators, both in terms of work and expense by December that year. This is when they were introduced, by an acquaintance, to a man named Doug Doering. Doug invested in Neopets, taking the majority share. Donna and Adam kept 18% of Neopets between them. Doering soon founded Neopets Inc. and set up a base in Southern California. Now, this is where it gets a little more interesting. Around the 6-month mark, Adam and Donna were completely unaware that Mr. Doering was, in fact, a prominent Scientologist. They discovered this when researching some of his newly implemented business strategies and interview techniques, which are all attributed to a Mr. L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. On further investigation, the creators also discovered that his entire Californian team were also members of the religion. Now, I'm not that well versed in Scientology, so here's a summary from Wikipedia to clear it up for anyone that's a bit unfamiliar. Scientology teaches that a human is an immortal, spiritual being, otherwise known as a thetan, that resides in a physical body and has innumerable past lives. Some Scientology texts are only revealed after followers have spent more than $200,000 in the organisation, and it charges tens of thousands of dollars for access to these texts in what it calls operating thetan levels. The organisation has gone to considerable lengths to try and keep these secret, but they are freely available on the internet. These texts say that lives preceding a thetan's arrival on Earth were lived in extraterrestrial cultures. The Church of Scientology has been described by government inquiries, scholars, law lords, and numerous superior court judgments as both a dangerous cult and a manipulative profit-making business. Following extensive litigation in numerous countries, the organisation has managed to attain legal recognition as a religious institution in some jurisdictions, including Australia, Italy, and the United States. Germany classes Scientology groups as an anti-constitutional sect, while the French government classifies the group as a dangerous cult. In a Reddit AMA, Ask Me Anything, in 2014, co-creator Donna Williams said that, at one time, there was some talk about putting Scientology education on the site, but we killed that whole idea pretty sharpish. Adam and I made sure that it never made its way into anything site-related. Religion and politics were two big no-nos for us, as far as site content went. After 5 years of Adam and Donna trying to keep the site as close to the product that it was originally intended to be, in 2005, Neopets was sold to Viacom for $160 million. And with that, their shares were gone too. It's often said this is when the original creativity of Neopets began to fade away too. Now, let's wind back to a time back before Neopets truly settled into its niche audience and found its footing. A time when things were mildly disturbing. It's time to talk about sacrifices and the Ski Lodge murder mystery. These were two site events involving Neopets staff, drawn up as cartoon characters. Each week, users would vote on who would be relieved from the game, all until one winner was left. Staff member characters would leave the game in a memorable fashion. So firstly, let's take a look at sacrifices. The page for this still exists, and you're welcomed by the following text. Cannibal Village is home to Neopia's greatest interactive game show, most of the Neopet staff are being held captive by island natives. Each week, one staff member will be sacrificed to the great Mumbo Pango. The last remaining staff member will be set free to return to Neopia. Beneath us is a list of the deaths, and links to watch them again. Yay! The Ski Lodge murder mystery was a little different from sacrifices. As the title suggests, this was more of a whodunit. The introduction for it reads, the Ski Lodge murder mystery game is going to be one of the main features on Neopets over the next month or so. The Neopets team have been booked into a spooky old lodge on top of Terror Mountain, and are in for the surprise of their lives. Every Monday and Thursday we'll be updating the story. You, the players of Neopets, will be able to vote for who gets murdered next, most horribly, and will also have the chance to piece together the clues to find the murderer. This time most of the content was written as a text story, with images used to illustrate. Some of these are chilling. The next stop on our sunshine-filled journey is cannibalism. Yes, that's right. There's a fair amount of that going on in Neopets. There's a concerning number of food items in this game, made of pet parts. To name a few, mincy steak, mincy brain sandwich, bloomaroo steak, snorkel snout, corbat wing soup, and pickled mohawk feet. Delicious. It was totally possible to feed these items to their respective pet species, hence the potential for the cannibalism. I'd also like to point out that the item description for the bloomaroo steak, still to this day, is what goes bounce bounce, whir, splat. In a pet game mainly aimed at children, something is just generally off about being able to feed pets to other pets. I mean, this may be a hard fact of life, animals eat other animals, but in this instance, there's also a predator-prey link, often highlighted between the two species, loop and chia, with loop treats being implied to be made of chias, or at least chia flavoured. Certain predatory species of Neopets can also be fed pets, the pets that you give your pets. I'm not sure if this is better or worse. Growls and skeeths can also eat any item, and your pet's little innocent friend is certainly no exception. Eek. It's also worth noting here that you have to successfully feed your pet to the Tumulculus to win an avatar. Drake eggs are considered a gourmet food in Neopia too, although those eggs are fertilised by default, so a little bit of a weird food to be pushing, right? Okay, I have mixed feelings about this one. It's a bit scarring and heartbreaking, but at the same time it teaches users a valuable lesson. It's worth noting here, either way, as the Neopian Pound certainly managed to pull the heartstrings of those hoping to abandon their pet. A user would have to confirm their decision with 5 clicks of a confirming button to make sure this was not being done by accident. However, each time you were required to confirm, one of the following messages would pop up. Break my heart, cast me aside, desert me, get rid of me, give me up, kick me out, leave me to die, let me down, oh please no, throw me away. What? Really? Sure? What did I do? You would leave me? I also remember the abandoned character of the Pound being super creepy compared to the adopt one, and not wanting to leave my pet behind with them. And I could not round up this video without first covering some of the cursed images created by the site. This Meepit image appears for a split second hidden within one of the Fun Images animations. Fun Images is a collection of Neopets images with copyable sources for users to use in their Neopets homepage, shops, guilds, etc. The Dead Chia. This is believed to have been part of a pet graveyard or cemetery that briefly existed in the world. The infamous Bad Friends Neo-Greeting. Neo-Greetings were like e-cards. This is the original version. It's still live today, but the blurred substance has been replaced with green slime since. There's also this, and this. Please explain, Neopets. I feel like it's the perfect point to leave it there. Did you play Neopets as a kid? What's your favourite memory of the site? And perhaps you still play the game today? Admittedly, I obviously do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, please consider dropping a like/subscribe down below, as it would really help me out. I'd love to see you in the next video. But until then, goodbye for now.